10 people to the chairs would get a chance at a game.
My face just collides with the pole. And I didn't have time to put my hands up in or anything, and I just land on the floor, and I land on the ground, I'm getting trampled.
A 19-year-old man never makes it to the finish line. He went to the hospital with minor injuries. In California, gamers also got out of hand. Police pushing the crowd back. Eventually, the store just closed its doors completely.
I mean, I expected to come out here and sit and wait for system. I didn't expect to get shot at.
And not even a BB gun drive-by could scare people away from a line in Lexington, Kentucky. One man keeping his spot despite a direct hit.
I'll do it again, even if I get shot again.
But in Ohio, gamers and those looking to make a buck didn't stand a chance. Thieves broke into the EV game store in Englewood before the systems even went on sale. 5 PS3s stolen.
And get this, even a high-profile politician wrapped up in this craze. Walmart releasing a statement today saying that a staffer for potential 2008 presidential candidate John Edwards called Walmart looking for help, quotes, help in getting the game. Edwards now saying that that volunteer made a mistake. Mark?
Go! Back up!
Near riots break out at stores across the country as Sony releases the new PlayStation 3. And close to home, eager gamers are turned into sitting ducks. A Massachusetts man shot while waiting to buy the PS3. Hi again, everyone. I'm Bianca De La Garza.
And I'm Mark Ockerblum. That shooting happening outside a Walmart in Connecticut. Fox 25's John Monahan is there tonight with details on what happened. John?
Hey, good afternoon, Mark. That man was in line here since Wednesday. He refused to hand over his money, so one of two men who were here to hold up waiting customers shot him. The victim is named Michael Pencala. He's 21 years old and is from nearby Webster, Massachusetts. He had come with money that he and his grandmother had saved. His goal was to buy as many PlayStations as he could and resell them on eBay. When the robbers, who wore masks, showed up, Michael stepped forward to confront them. He was shot once in the shoulder and rushed to UMass Medical Center in Worcester. Family and friends cannot believe he got shot over a game, and neither can the mayor here in Putnam.
It never ceases to amaze me the lack of value system that some people have, and I mean it's across the country. And you know, does it surprise me that it happened in Putnam? Yeah, a little bit, because we're a small rural town in the northeast corner of Connecticut. I mean, but am I taken aback by it? Unfortunately not.
I'm just hoping and praying he's going to be okay, but I'm sure he is.
Michael is going to be okay. We're told he's reportedly in fair condition. Now, those two men, they're still on the run. But state police here in Connecticut tell Fox that there are surveillance cameras here in the parking lot, and they tell us they got everything on tape, and they have some pretty good photos of these guys. They're hoping it's going to help to catch them. We're live in Putnam, Connecticut. I'm John Monahan, Fox 25 News.
Well, things weren't quite as violent here in Boston, but it still was not pretty.
So when they opened up the gates, everybody just ran. People were falling off the stairs.
Police had to respond after 500 people who had lined up in Copley Square this morning got a little out of control. A chance to buy the PS3 happened to bring on a melee. Police stepped in, reorganized the lines. Only 16 systems were sold here. Those lucky enough to get one of them even asked police to escort them from the store. And police were called down to this Circuit City in Saugus after reports that a man pulled a knife while waiting in line. That man telling Fox 25 that's not true. He says someone tried to cut in the line and they started to argue. He claims he took out a cell phone of his pocket, and employees thought that cell phone was a knife. Police searched him. They did not find a weapon. And of course, we want to hear from you. We want to know, what have you done? What would you do to get the next big thing? PS3? Maybe it's Tickle Me Elmo Extreme. Email us 5 p.m. at fox25.com. Go to our website, myfoxboston.com. We'll be reading your responses in just a few minutes.
Chaos becomes the name of the game. Sony's PlayStation 3 launches to unruly crowds and, in one case, gunfire. Good evening, I'm Natalie Jacobson. It's a scene that was played out from coast to coast today. People storming stores to try to get to the PS3 video game system. With demand far outstripping supply, stores were sold out minutes after opening, as was expected. In Putnam, Connecticut, armed thugs robbed people waiting in line outside a Walmart. A Webster, Massachusetts man was shot in the chest. News Center 5's David Boeri is live in Webster. David.
Natalie, you got to figure there was a lot of money in line at that Walmart outside Putnam, Connecticut last night, but one stubborn kid from Webster wasn't giving it up. He didn't think the gun was real, even after they fired a pistol twice. That's when they shot him with a shotgun. 21-year-old Michael Pencala of Webster wanted a PS3, the Sony PlayStation that's the center of a consumer buzz that went on sale this morning.
He was going to probably sell it.
The two models of PlayStations are selling for $500 and $600 retail, but on eBay they're selling for $2,700 today.
We got a call while we was at work that our buddy had gotten shot. So we came down here. He was waiting in line for the PS3s, I guess, for a couple days now.
Michael had joined one of those long lines outside the Walmart in Putnam, Connecticut. With 15 to 20 in line, they must have looked like one long cash cow to two robbers who hit them at 3:30 this morning.
Demanded the money, and most of them handed it over. My son refused.
He and his grandmother had put money in to buy this game. They were going to put it on eBay and sell it, and he figured he'd make some money for Graham. And I'm absolutely sure that that's why he wouldn't give up this money.
And there was one gentleman who stood up to the people and said, you know, you're not getting any of our money. And unfortunately, that gentleman was shot.
Shot at close range in the chest and shoulder. Michael kept his money. The two teenage robbers raced off, and EMTs raced Michael to Worcester and the UMass Medical Center, where after his first surgery he was stable but anxious for his mother to get back in line for a PlayStation.
He's Michael, and anybody that knows Michael would not be overly surprised.
He has his own mind. Rather stubborn.
I'm not gray for nothing.
His mom says he's facing weeks of hospital stay. It also has to go through reconstruction of his shoulder. Meanwhile, because of him, and he didn't get robbed, nobody else got robbed last night. After they shot him, the robbers took off. Their total take, 75 cents. In Webster, reporting live for WCVB, I'm David Bower. Back to you, Natalie.
Thanks, David. Here's a quick snapshot of some of what David just showed you, some of the chaos on eBay this afternoon. You'll see the occasional bogus bid, one for $15,000, but real sales are being racked up at between $2,500 and $5,000. Considerable profit, obviously, over the $600 retail price. You might also notice that many of the sellers are still charging for shipping. Meantime, the debut of PlayStation 3 caused quite a stir in the city of Boston today as well, and police officers had to respond. Pushing and shoving broke out at the Copley Place Mall earlier when some of the 500 people waiting in the line rushed the doors when the security officials opened the mall. Boston's Mayor Tom Menino was outraged at the situation, saying he was going to send a letter to Simon Malls and Sony, saying they ought to pay the expense for the police officers who had to respond.
It's almost like scalping. It really is. It's wrong, and to take advantage of the public the way they are. It's wrong by the manufacturer and by the retailer.
There was more chaos at other area stores. Everyone who waited in line at a Best Buy store in the Fenway area and at a Walmart in Rentham were turned away at midnight. That's because those stores forgot to get permits to stay open late. So the customers, after waiting in line, were told to come back first thing in the morning and try again. On our website, thebostonchannel.com, you'll find a survey and discussion on this PlayStation 3 chaos, plus a comparison of the new systems hitting the market. Click on the media window on our home page.